Alright, today's one's a bit different today. We've actually got someone interesting, so gonna cover Tyler the Creator. Now, I've known about Tyler for years and years, and it's only recently, in the last couple of years, that I've kind of got to know him. Since I heard that Flower Boy album, I heard parts of Eagle that I liked, but this year, when he released Call Me If You Get Lost, I just fell in love with that album. So since then, I've been really just watching a lot of his interviews, and I've noticed that he's a very, very profound kind of thinker. And what I like about Tyler is the fact that he's in his own world, and I think that him kind of keeping that tunnel vision really just makes him immune to all criticism and everything like that. And that's why album on album you just see his sales increasing, you see his notoriety increasing. We saw he beat DJ Khaled for that #1 album as well, so people clearly do care. So we're going to just break down 3 clips just kind of explaining and analyzing how we think that he's become successful and how he's been able to maintain this for over 10 years now. His career's been over 10 years. His first project came out 2009. 2021, he's got probably top 5 album of the year. It's crazy. Alright, so we got this first clip where Tyler talks about striving for perfection, striving for greatness, using one of his best tracks to kind of use that as a target, knowing that even though it might not ever be possible to beat it, that kind of keeps him going. So he's going to kind of break down how that mindset's helped him.
I'm like, damn, I will never make a song better than that. I will never make a song better than Stevie Wonder's Where Were You When I Need You.
Mm-hmm.
So I always use that like, God dang, I have to make something good like that. And that's what pushes me. And the fact that in my own head, I think I will never make something as good as the songs that I love will always, and that's that thing I said, I can never grasp it. So I'll always push myself. That's why I don't know what the word potential means. Because potential, that's a gap. You stop. That's a wall. I don't know what that means. So I'll always push myself harder. And whether people like it or not, at least for me, I'm trying things and trying to be better.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
I think when you've had such a long career and you've been doing the same thing for years and years, it can get tough motivation-wise. So I think sometimes you need to kind of hold up your greatest achievement and always try and strive to better that, even though at times it feels like it's going to be impossible to better that. Instead of getting discouraged, you need to kind of keep striving for that and know that you can actually make that song that eclipses that song that you thought was the major hit, if you understand what I'm saying. And I feel like we can relate this to a lot of avenues in just normal life. I mean, if you've got any achievements, you think that, okay, I'm never going to do better than that, you can always kind of push more and use that as a motivation. I mean, I kind of see this as target practice, kind of having that target in your head, knowing that if you just work out of your skin, there's a potential and a possibility to beat that target. He also talked about in the clip, like the idea of potential, he doesn't like it. So the possibility is always kind of there, as he says, and you need to use that target as a fuel to actually try and get over that hump. Alright, so we got the second clip with Tyler talking about keeping a good team around him with positive energy and distancing himself from negative energy and the haters.
I just trust my ideas, man. And I have a bunch of people around me who, for some reason, trust my crazy ideas. And that's all it is. I just do things I think is cool, man. And it works out. You know, the carnival was just the idea.
Huge.
It was just the idea because I like carnivals. I was like, what if we did that? And then
what about people that
said
said don't, like, man, carnival? You know what I'm saying? Because even we were giving tickets away, we were like,
never be around those people.
Please say
never.
That.
And it's even people on the internet. Like, it's the same thing. Those people just want to feel important because their life isn't going great. Yeah. I had someone tell me the other, you're so immature. I could afford to be immature.
Right.
Why? Because I'm a grown-ass man when I'm running my businesses and making these big-ass decisions.
And there's a lot of people.
So we can already tell from Tyler's demeanor that he seems like the most free spirit, one of the most positive guys, doesn't care about anyone else's opinion. And I think one of the big reasons is that the people around him are just positive. They give him that kind of space and creativity to actually create, and then they don't shoot down any of his ideas. If he thinks that something sounds cool, his team and also him will just try and execute it. And a lot of the time, more often than not, it will work. And I think people kind of dig that authenticity. And I think with him talking about those negative people, you can see the way that his kind of tone of voice and his demeanor kind of switched. And I think that's because he knows that you need to distance yourself from those negative people. I mean, if Tyler was to internalize a lot of those opinions, his career would not be what it is now. I mean, if you look at his career, every album that he's released, he's taken a risk. It's kind of like Kanye in a way. Every single album, there's been a lot of a difference between Cherry Bomb to the Wolf album, to Flower Boy, to Igor, now Call Me If You Get Lost. So I think him having that creativity, keeping that positivity has really kind of helped him. Man, that third clip is literally the best advice I've ever got in my life. I've been using that advice recently about not taking advice, and he kind of said the same thing. Thinking for yourself is super key. I mean, we can see that Tyler's done it, and when he explains it, he uses such good logical steps. So let's see how he breaks it down.
Yeah. I mean, we live in a society where a lot of people are followers and they can't, you know, make their set opinions. Like, I have friends going to college for stuff that their parents want them to go for, and they're not even happy or anything, but they're just trying to please them. And in the long run, like, I mean, what's going to be there? Your parents die and you're just stuck there, like, paying debt for something that you didn't even want to learn in the first place. So I just try to tell people to just think for themselves, and they'll be way happier in the long run.
Yeah, that's deep.
The reason that I wanted to save the best till last is because this piece of advice, I would probably say this piece of advice here needs to be taken by 100% of people. The amount of people over the age of 50 to 60 who regret choices that they've made in their life, and they actually end up holding resent to older people and their parents because they listened to what they wanted them to do instead of doing what they did. I think there's so many people. So at the end of the day, this advice is extremely key, as if you just follow your own advice, then at the end of the day, if you make the wrong decision, then you're the only person that you're going to have to blame, and you can kind of get over it. You can forgive yourself, but it can be harder to kind of forgive someone else for making a bad judgment in terms of what to do. So I think, again, man, Tyler's speaking facts, and you can see from his career, he's literally done what he wants. He's literally just done what he wants completely. He said in other interviews that he didn't really have a father figure in his life. All he had was a few kind of artists, Dave Chappelle, Eminem, that he kind of looked at, and they had the confidence, so he used his own confidence and he carved out his own lane, and look at him now.